Welcome to everyone. Super happy and excited to have Alex Glenn from Automate.if, and it's a marketplace and resource where you can automate your business process. And I was just like thinking, Alex, what does automate means for you?
I love it. Yes, Gerard, thank you very much for having me. I love the setup here. This is new for me. It's my first Facebook Live or live.
You don't look like, man. You look so professional with the brick wall in the back.
Yeah, I got a stand-up desk or a very comfortable chair. That's my setup. So thank you very much. I think we've got some great discussion points here. Gerard and I always aim to give value. So we did a little bit of pre-setup. We want to come at you with some awesome tips and tricks and tactics, and we aim to please. So let's go ahead and dive in. What did you want to talk about first?
Alex, one question. We were talking, what does automation mean for you?
Yeah, and I'll give a shout out to Dan from Orca. We were having this discussion a couple days ago, and we weren't recording at the time. I wish we were, but we had a fantastic talk about the negative connotations of automation, right? So my clients and customers, when they come to me, they kind of have this connotation that automation is just the outreach process, just kind of pushing your messaging out and automating the cold outreach process of the business. And that's not what automation is all about. That's one aspect of automation. But automation, to me, and I think to you too, we had this talk, is really all about creating that one-to-one customer experience, right? So making sure when the customer shows up to your landing page, you're serving them that greeting from your chat widget that mentions maybe where they're coming from and mentions what they can get on that page. Then when they convert, they're getting an email response that is personalized to not only putting in that name, but also mentioning what content that they were viewing and some more options that follow that same line. So once they become a part of your business, a customer, a member, whatever, you follow those same automations with internal triggers. So making sure that customer success is notified via Slack or whatever your project management tool when a customer has an issue so that they can reach out. So automation is not just forward-facing, not just marketing, not just customer-facing, but it's the full gamut. It's making sure to create those one-to-one customer experiences. That's what I believe automation is.
Well, I love it, man. Such a wonderful, so profound description. Are you a tech guy by any chance? Are you an engineer?
No, I'm not an engineer.
What's your background, Alex?
Yeah, so by trade, I started in SEO 10 years ago, working as an intern for an SEO agency. I started doing business development for some tech companies, making sort of the customer interactions happened and creating those initial experiences for new customers on platforms via the sales side. And then what I realized is I am more fond of making sure that the product fits the needs of the customers. And that snowballed into marketing and into real content, a lot of focus on content marketing. And then I started to build out, like everybody else, the funnels and lead generation. So I had an agency called Right to Revenue. I still have an agency called Right to Revenue where we help clients sort of optimize the funnel, so to speak. And then that brought me into senior roles as VP of marketing for XYZ tech companies in San Diego, and then moved to Chicago where I had my first child. And I kind of got to the point where I realized my real skill set that I've been developing over the last 10 years is not my depth of knowledge in SEO or content marketing, but it's really the knowledge of setting up businesses and the structures and the processes for success. I'm not an operations guy. I don't like dealing with operations on a day-to-day basis. I do like the marketing aspect. So what I really like is the idea of creating these automated processes for businesses and making sure that the customer experience is sufficient and really optimized throughout the entire funnel. And that means obviously cold messaging, getting them into the funnel, making sure the ads accounts and the content are all synced up. But then after they get through, making sure customer success and everybody's on the same page with relation to where that person came from and what that person does. I like to be involved in the full picture. So automated snowballed from that and stemmed from that. And what it aims to be is really a resource for people that have a need to optimize a certain business process, and they want to link up with someone that has done that very same optimization. So I'm not trying to create a lead gen source for myself and my team. What I aim to do is really create sort of the product hunt, if you will, for marketing automation. So you can go there and you can say, I use Clearbit, I use Find That Lead. What can I do with the two, right? Or you know, I want to market on LinkedIn. How can I optimize my LinkedIn strategy, and what tools do I need to do that? So we aim to kind of pull everyone together. Founders like yourself can put up marketing automations using your tools, and so can marketers. And when a customer goes through that marketplace, they can actually buy a pre-packaged automation that they can then implement in their business. And some of our submitters, our automators, actually provide a Calendly link so you can get on a call with them so they can help you set it up and answer any questions. So hopefully a really cool resource. Check it out, automated.af, not .com, unfortunately. But anyways, that's enough about me.
Love it, man. I love it. And we're setting up some questions. It's coming up more questions before, man. I have a question. What is, I don't want to say what is the, yeah, fuck it. Let's go for it. What is your best automation tool? Like one that you cannot live without it?
For me, it's Google Apps, unfortunately. I know it's pretty cliche, but at the end of the day, everybody on my team and all my client interactions, they start and stop with Google Apps. So, you know, setting up automations between, I like this a lot. You know, if you're an SMB, if you're a DIY founder, you may use Google Apps, right? If you use Google Sheets, and let's say LeadsBridge, for example, you can use Google Sheets as your central database, your repository for all your cold leads coming in, and have a column in that Google Sheet for the status or the pipeline stage that lead is in. And then use LeadsBridge. Let's just say Find That Lead is dumping leads into that Google Sheet via a virtual assistant, right? That is your central repository for what is that status of that specific status for that client at whatever time they're at or whatever stage they're at in your pipeline. And LeadsBridge is going and updating custom audiences in Facebook and soon to be LinkedIn. They're about to release their LinkedIn custom audience integration, which will be phenomenal. But not only that, that Google Sheet with all of your cold leads with the status, they may be new or approaching. As your leads interact with your business, whether they sign up, whether they create an account, they're going to get a status update in your CRM, right?
Which one you would recommend? Which one would you recommend? I
like copper.com.
Copper.com. I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
How do you write it?
COPPER.com. Those guys, yeah. COPPER, like the metal, copper.
Okay.
.com. Yeah. So with this automation, it requires a Google Sheet and it requires a CRM. But a lot of people are pushing and pulling custom audiences out of the CRM, but they're forgetting about that initial step of data enrichment, right? And that's usually handled by a third party, a processor. That's usually handled in another app. So if you're doing a lot of data enrichment, use Google Sheets as your central repository, your golden truth for that lead status, and then use LeadsBridge to update statuses in your your CRM, and then make sure that your CRM is writing back to the Google Sheet using a bridge in LeadsBridge to update that status. And that allows you a lot more flexibility and sort of like your own repository, your own Redshift database, but it's a little simpler, obviously, and it's sitting in that Google Sheet, and you can have different Google Sheets for different audiences, right? and you can share those with VAs. So you don't have to share your Copper account or your CRM account, the virtual assistant. You share that Google Sheet, and then you have bridges set up between the Google Sheet, Copper, and between the Google Sheet and your Facebook audiences and LinkedIn. And then if they pass that barrier in your funnel and convert, their status gets updated in Copper, and Copper writes the Google Sheet, which takes them out of those retargeting campaigns. So using that Google Sheet as your kind of basis for all of your automations from your cold audiences specifically. I like that.
That's a wonderful tool, and it would be nice if we can go deeper on that. Is it LeadBridge similar to Clearbit in a way? They have an API of enrichment, and then you can ask.
They have one competitive product to Clearbit. It's their dynamic forms product, which is similar to Clearbit's auto enrichment process, where you can be typing in a form on your site, and if you have Clearbit integrated with that form, Clearbit will enrich that data. And we had a great episode with Axel from Blue, where he uses Clearbit to segment the data as they're entering your form. So your form may ask for name, email, company name, and password, or I don't know. But Clearbit will take that company name and email, and it'll give you their industry, it'll give you their market cap or their employee size, stuff like that you can then split the audiences. So if they give you a company name with 50 employees, maybe you push them down this prioritization and tag them in your CRM. If they have less than 50 employees, maybe you don't want to give them as high a priority, and push them this way. Now, LeadsBridge is more similar to Zapier. So LeadsBridge has bridges, which are just like Zaps, right? The difference is Zapier tries to price, and they have their business model based on API calls, whereas you can have unlimited API calls. You just have limited bridges with a plan on LeadsBridge, which I like because I only use like 5 or 6 bridges, which I can stay on the starter plan, but I have a ton of action between those bridges where I would be priced out of Zapier. And then I also use LeadsBridge's other products.
It's funny because when you were saying the automation with LeadsBridge, I was like, yeah, what is Zapier in here? It's funny now. I understand they have the Zap included in the LeadsBridge. I remember, and it's very well integrated. Long time. I'm very happy to share it. I remember they have massive integration with everyone, and I think this is probably the key source. We find that we have like very small integration, but seeing like integrations are so important in many ways. And you see here, this is one of the key successes of LeadBridge, which I love it.
Yeah, so let's do this. You want to talk about, we killed automation. Do you want to talk about
Facebook groups?
LinkedIn groups? We can touch on that real quick.
Okay, you said LinkedIn groups, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's more of just for the audience. I really want to know what people think. Are you bullish or bearish, in terms of stocks? Are you going to join a LinkedIn group and get involved or start one because they have these new changes coming out? Conversations are in groups are now going to appear in the LinkedIn newsfeed. Interesting. Users will be able to edit posts and share videos and other non-text formats in groups. It also looks like LinkedIn will be pushing a lot more group activity to your notifications tab, which is good for the admins, good for just engagement overall. And you will be able to pin important items to the top of groups' individual feeds. So this is all stuff that Facebook has had forever, which is why Facebook groups are, as you are aware, your group is huge. So shout out to your group. I love it. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, I really want to know more from the audience. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I have an automated LinkedIn group that we're debating whether to put a bunch of time into or not. But everyone, you can either.
Yes. I remember, and let me interrupt you. I remember a few years ago, LinkedIn groups were good to get data, download the data, and use it for mailings and stuff like that. And I have been banned from LinkedIn. I don't know why for a few years. I decided to open a new account on growth hacking outbound marketing. At the moment, they haven't banned, and I'm playing around new again with LinkedIn. And We have the same Facebook group. We did a Facebook group on Facebook, Growth Hacking About Marketing. It's really growing by itself. We don't do anything. And we have nearly around 100 people asking to come in. We have 3 questions. We say yes or no, depending of the quality of the people. That's one. LinkedIn, the LinkedIn group is as like, I don't know, 10 users, 5 users. And it's like my mom, my uncle, and my sister, you know. And it's seriously, it just doesn't move. No one asks somehow, and it doesn't make any. And yes, it used to be very important. Now they're not. And what we're focusing a lot is on Facebook groups, which I think it's the next topic. But LinkedIn groups, to me, even LinkedIn relations are very diminished because kind of my point of view, everyone takes the information from LinkedIn and kind of like send mails or do that. It's kind of like the pinpoint to start a relation, but actually building the relation, it's not done on LinkedIn by itself. My point only. What do you think?
I completely agree. And I don't think it is today what it's going to be tomorrow. So it's a matter of whether you go and put some time into it now to get ready for potentially as far as engagement and potentially, you know, have a really interesting new type of audience. And I definitely believe this. I think Facebook is, as Facebook groups, you know, we are, it's a lot of us, right? You know, a lot of us DIY type founders that talk to each other about really awesome new and aggressive marketing strategies, and we get insight from each other. I think I see Facebook groups more of like, you know, it's us creating a really awesome network for each other, almost like a mastermind, right? Whereas LinkedIn groups, my opinion and where I would go with LinkedIn groups is if you want to take the stuff out of your Facebook group and boil it down to more layman,
professional,
more upstream type of use cases. So forget the stuff that I just mentioned about Google Sheets and automating all that stuff, but it would be more of really high level topics like how do you build a successful customer success team, right? And instead of us talking really tactical, you kind of package those up into a little bit more general strategies that make sense to like the VP of marketing or the VP of customer success for a Fortune 1000 company, right? And then you take that to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn group would be you and a couple other really tactical marketers talking to the higher level VPs at Fortune 5000 and above, where they wouldn't, I mean, all the stuff that we talk about in your Facebook group, it would just, you know, right over the heads, right?
Alex, so, I love what you said, because let me tell you a story, and it's very short. I was never going to big corporations. I tried, it didn't work. LinkedIn didn't work for me. Facebook is working amazingly. And you know why? It was not because my product wasn't fitting for the big corporations. And beyond that, because this is super mega important, guys, for everyone is listening. If you have tried LinkedIn groups, if you have tried LinkedIn didn't work, and you have tried Instagram, probably your pricing is wrong for big corporations. Number one, we've seen, and this is just a change. It blew my mind. We never been to corporations, and for me, we just signed a big contract for BMW Spain. That's it, and that's number one. And whoever thinks that, oh no, I'm not in LinkedIn, I'm not in Twitter, I'm not like, it only work for mailing, guys, you're missing out a lot. I'm missing out a lot, and many things. We just discovered that we changed the price strategies, not just the price strategy. We make a full product for corporates, and it's like, boom, every 5 visits, 2 are buying, and that's it. And LinkedIn is the place to be in, and you're completely right on that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they decide to do. But let's talk about the more interesting non-Microsoft platforms.
Yes.
You want to talk about Instagram and anything that you
like Instagram? Yeah. Well, we're going to Facebook's platforms, which is basically WhatsApp and Facebook. Instagram, I love it. It's a few tools that Instagram. I love Instagram because number one, and this depends on the audience you're going, but I am very visual. I'm not using Twitter.
Mhm.
That's it. I'm not a guy who likes Twitter. That's why Instagram is being very helpful for me. There are two tools fully, well, one recommendation, don't ever buy users. It's just going to fuck up your engagement. I did some time ago and I fucked it up and now I'm deleting everyone that I bought. It's just a nightmare, man. It's just like the worst nightmare ever. And this is one. Don't do it or your engagement will be shit. Doesn't matter how good you are on Insta. Number two, use a tool. It works very well for us. It's called Unfollower Plus. You unfollow. Later, we're going to write all this without any, I would say, referral links. Everything is just like, please go and check it. Our Unfollower and Report Plus. These tools works very well for Instagram, but one that it's been doing well in the past for us, it's direct messaging everyone, and we call it bigbangram.com. This works very well for Instagram. It's doing direct message whenever anyone has a hashtag. The rest, everyone knows, plus 30 hashtags and stuff like this. But I love it because Instagram has let me do a few things. One, I would say, if you are aiming to corporates, type in the guy that you're doing the deal with and add it on Instagram, add it on Facebook, follow them, know what they like, guys, because if you close that deal, it's probably going to change your companies, probably 300, 400,000 in a year's time. It's worth that you follow them. And it's Instagram for me has been getting closer to a lot of the CEOs that it was not possible before. And it's not just on the startup in Spain, but thanks to Instagram, we're speaking to, for example, Steli FT from Close.io, and we talk a lot from Insta and Facebook. They never, ever answer my emails. Steli never answered my emails. He was like, Eric Sue never answering my emails. Insta, I get him every time. He answers back in a second. Just like, guys, a lot of people probably getting thousands and thousands of emails on the mailbox, never reading it. But Instagram, you don't get many like unless you really follow them. Even Grant Cardone, Grant Cardone, I don't know if you're aware of him. Probably yes. He's answered me, like I sent him videos. It's like, oh, wonderful, and hopefully one day we'll go to that level. But it's just working so well. Direct message on Instagram.
I love it. I think you nailed it. It's getting to the clients on the social media platforms that they like to use, right? They may be on LinkedIn for business purposes, maybe, but they like to use Instagram. They enjoy it. So when they're in between meetings, after hours, maybe in bed at night, they're checking their own Instagram. They're seeing what other people are up to on Instagram. And if you have direct messaging on Instagram, like their new API, and
tell me about that, man. Could you tell me a little bit?
We'll have to get with Nathan Haig. He's got some insight on what's going on with their new API. I just pinged him, but hopefully he can comment on here. But yeah, they've got their new API rolling out. The companies that are involved in that are beta testing right now. There are a few approved, and there's going to be a Message Hero-esque app that allows you to direct message and capture and do sequences and all that kind of stuff through Instagram, like you do with Message Hero on Facebook. And Message
okay,
Hero,
like with drips and everything. And it's going to be like a company doing it for Instagram, obviously,
from your page, yeah. I believe maybe from your personal account too. I'm not sure. And this is something that I'm not the expert in, so I defer to Mr.
Only problem, Alex, and I don't know if it has happened to you, direct message on Twitter has become a massively spammy. And I hope it doesn't kind of get into the same level that Instagram is amazing because no one is really doing much automation tools. But if you see Twitter, direct messages, how many direct messages from Twitter do you have on read?
Yeah, I hear you. It's all of them is the answer for me because I haven't logged into my Twitter account.
Yeah, okay, me either. But the messages on the DMs on Twitter really doesn't work.
No.
DMs on Instagram, for me now, it's working very well.
Yeah, and this will be interesting because Twitter was so accessible on the DM side of things. It became sign blindness. You get so many that even if you get a valuable one, you just can't check it. When they roll out these new apps inside Instagram, I think that will happen eventually, but I think there will be a period, a window where you can use it and leverage it and be really successful at it. And then it will slowly start to become a little bit chaotic and that sort of stuff, which I think will happen. But anyways, moving on, let's talk about real quick, Quora. I know you're not a huge user of Quora. I'll just say, you know, what I use Quora for. I like to use Quora to stay a little bit relevant in terms of not the tech savvy users. The non-tech savvy users will post questions on Quora that I can really easily answer. So what I like to do, and this snowballs into the next topic, which is kind of like our content process. I know you have a really awesome system where you create this style of content, whether it's or a written post, and then you have what I call like content extrapolation, where you turn it into a type of post medium, and then maybe you have a nice schedule where you roll that out. So I do the same thing with Quora. I'll find relevant topics on Quora that are topical for my audience, and I will go ahead and put those into a backlog. I'll, you know, do the whole prioritization based on views and answers, and I do this for certain people as well. But we create the backlog and we answer those questions. I turn them into podcast episodes. I'll find someone that had a really good answer to a question and I'll interview them on the podcast. Then that becomes obviously the post for Quora, but first publish it to the site as an article, submit that to search so you get that that authorship from Google. Make sure Google crawls that page before you publish it as an answer to Quora, because Quora answers are indexed. So I like using it to stay topical for what the non-tech savvy CEOs, the non-DIY CEOs are after, right? So a lot of these are pretty high level questions. I just found one that is literally, where is Instagram's API for sending messages to users, right? There's only one answer on there. It's not a very big thread right now, but it probably will be as they roll it out. So what I'll do is I'll publish an answer. I'll probably turn part of this podcast into an answer for that and loop in somebody else so it makes it a little more valuable. And then that'll become an article and possibly a podcast, probably a podcast episode once they do release their initial approved messaging apps. So I like Quora for that. And then Quora, you can scrape Quora. You can scrape followers of a topic on Quora. So a good example of that is if you have a need to get in front of everybody that follows Instagram marketing on Quora, you can actually go to the Instagram marketing topic on Quora and see how big that one is. And then you can go and actually see who follows it. Probably a lot of marketers. But some
how many do you think that we're going to get following a nice one, a big story, like a big thread of Quora? So are we talking like 3,000, 6,000?
Well, a thread, I'll give you an example. I mean, one I just answered last week ago has already gotten 10,000 views in the last 6 days.
And that's people log in with the Facebook or Google, and do you get any names or name? I mean, this is so unaware I am of Quora, man. I don't even know if I have a login, which I probably do. I don't ever get there.
So
if you scrape, do you get like a Twitter account like you get from Product Hunt?
This is what's great. And I'll try to share the link. I know a guy that built a scraper for it, and he sells the scraper. But you get anything that's in their description. So I have my Clarity account, my website, and my LinkedIn account in my profile description. So when you do a scrape, let's just say everybody that follows a certain topic, you get anything that they put in their general profile.
Oh, I see. I do have a profile.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what I was in my profile. Not much. Okay, I see. I have nothing. Okay, but I'm just like, I'm not into Quora. I'm certainly going to make a look this weekend.
So yeah, pick a topic that's relevant, and this is to everybody, not just you, but pick a topic that's relevant to your end-all be-all pain points of the customers, right? So your business goal is to obviously sell your product, but what is a real pain point of your customers? It may not be as specific as data, finding that quality data. That is what you really sell, but the pain point is really, maybe B2B marketing in general, or B2B outreach, right? So you pick that topic, find a good topic that has over 50,000 or so followers. Look at the most viewed writers section. If you click through the topic, you can find most viewed writers, and then see how many views they have and see how many answers they have to get those views. I'm looking at Instagram marketing, and the most viewed writers have a lot of views in the last 30 days, and some of them only have 3 answers, which means there are a few threads, and I can click through these answers and find out exactly what questions, and I'll post this in the chat link, in the comments here. But this guy answered 3 questions under the topic of Instagram marketing, and he's number 3 on the most viewed writers. So I just answered the same exact questions that he answered, and then I would have my friends go and push that up to the top of the thread, because you got to be at the top in order to get those views, and yeah, get a bunch of impressions from Quora. And people see your name, they see your face, and then they see your tagline. So you put your company name, and then you put what you do. So find that lead, CEO, founder. But the main thing is you get thought leadership from Quora. You get that subject matter expertise in terms of, do you really know all about what your business does? And that's huge for SaaS companies, because especially at the startup stage, they're buying the founder and the heads of product just as much as they're buying the product. And Quora is one of the best places that you can prove that you know what you're doing, right?
And I think they have special ads that you can be running on Quora that you're paying, and they're very well targeted, isn't it? The Quora advertisement.
That's a whole nother thing. The Quora ad side of things is great. If you have a topic that you're trying to market to, or discussions, you can target people by discussion. And you can also, if you just create an ads account, don't run any ads. While you're going through the setup process of the ads account, type in your keyword. It will give you a list of all the top questions asked under that keyword, and how many views each one has. So you don't even have to start the ad. You can just get a list of all the top questions that are
and work on it. And then you apply the scrape, you scrape them, and then you post something in your blog regarding that, and it's kind of like before you're doing some work.
One step above that, you actually scrape the followers of those topics, because those people are going to get a notification when you answer a question they post, or if you're starting to get a little bit of activity, they'll get a notification saying you've answered a question that under a topic that they follow, and they'll get a mobile notification, they'll get a desktop notification, and you may even show up in the email that Quora sends out to all of the followers. And what you do is you add the list of people that follow the topic that you're now answering a lot of questions around. You add those people to your cold outreach sequences, right? Because those people are going to start getting, your brand impressions. Your face is going to start showing up in their notifications, and then all of a sudden your email comes through, and it says, hey, I saw you follow this topic on Quora. Wanted to connect because, I have a lot of good content. Here's some recent answers, and, here's what I do. Here's a little bit more about me. So that's up to you on the cold email side of things. And obviously, if you're in Europe, don't do that. But if you're not in Europe,
listen, this is about the GDPR. If you know someone is working on marketing, and you're giving value on a specific topic, and send an email with love that I say, it's like,
they're not going to.
You can. Yeah, I mean, you can do it Europe, China, or US. There's no going, if you do it for a real purpose, there's never, ever, ever going to be. And if you're not selling, and if they have like really an amazing way of approaching, never going to be any harm to anyone if we are marketers or something like this.
I think that's the main takeaway there. You know, be specific, be topical, be valuable in your outreach, and that's also another reason why I like making sure that you're referencing something that they're interested in, which Quora is perfect. Find out that they're following that topic, they're interested, and that should be topical enough, especially if you give them, you know, your 3 recent answers, which are top of mind for them because they're following that topic. Give them that value, and you should have an awesome interaction with that customer.
This is amazing, man. This is so much. We like Facebook, LinkedIn, G Suite, Quora. Is it anything else that we forget? Is it something? Was it anything else in the plate?
Man, it sounds like we're gonna have to do another episode. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because with Quora, it's kind of like, shall I not? For example, a good one. Do you use Product Hunt for anything?
I mean, we have friends that, you know, have reached out in the past few days about Product Hunt strategy. So we did a mastermind podcast, and I'll try to link to it around Product Hunt. I am not a Product Hunt expert.
We did something very easy. We got above 1,000 upvotes. There is something from Josh Fetcher out there, how to get a lot of upvotes from Product Hunt. My only like you were saying for the scraper, it's a scraper that you get everyone with a similar product, scrape them, and ask them to give some love through Twitter with a direct message, or just like send them an email, adding them to Facebook ads, Google ads, and we did very well on last Product Hunt, but it's a lot of energy. If you don't need acquisition so much, there's many other ways to acquire users. For us, the acquisition, like, yeah, we got 1,000. At the time, was like, whoa, that's amazing. But now the same energy is put in other things, and we get not just higher amount of users. But if you're starting, Product Hunt is amazing. If you want to test a new product, I think even Google did a launch on Product Hunt some weeks ago. They were doing some like the new redefined product.
I think it's well worth doing. I think I would caution this, and this is something we got out of the mastermind. I just posted the links, but make sure that the people that you're pushing to engage with your Product Hunt have Product Hunt profiles and have hunted other products. Don't just get new people. Don't call your sister and your cousins and tell them to join Product Hunt and hunt you, because that will adversely affect the reach of your hunt. They have to have hunted other products and have a profile. Not have to, that's a strong word. They should, because it's a part of the algorithm. They want to make sure that you're not gaming the system. Anybody can go and get their 50 best friends to hunt them on Product Hunt. They want to make sure that you're getting the organic hunters, the people that have hunted other products. So go into Product Hunt, find people that have profiles, and gather those people into your list of people that you want to find a way to have that reciprocity exist, and say something that can give them value and get them to hunt you. Don't just get your family.
I remember first time it's a few years ago now, and it worked. What we did is we checked who was hunting the best products on my market, on my area, and then we did a list of 10 people, and then we sent them an email saying, hi guys, thank you very much, you've been so influential to me. I would just like to find that list 1 year for free. That's it. We were not asking anything from anyone, and obviously you wish someone is like, oh Gerard, you know, I'm in Product Hunt, guys, thank you very much for giving me this subscription. And it's giving so much value up front. We did the second time, and the second time it didn't work. First time worked very well, and two people say, oh, let me put you on it. Second time, we didn't do a launch because that strategy didn't work. It works sometimes, it doesn't work all the time. Second time, we just went and asked a friend of a friend, and he was a super mega top hunter, and he just hunted, and it's top. You know, it was very good.
Yeah, it's the rule of that one person with a lot of clout on Product Hunt can give you more reach and more benefit if they hunt you than 100 people that need to sign up for Product Hunt. So instead of spending your time gathering a list of everybody you know who've never been on Product Hunt before, focus on the people that are in Product Hunt with activity and a history. The more the better. Gather those people, prep 3 months in advance, engage with them, share their stuff, create that relationship so that when your hunt comes, you have them on a list and you can reach out to them and say, hey,
this is on Product Hunt itself, and this is very important. Whatever promotion you choose, think that's going to be like a few months or a few weeks, and the outcomes should be amazing. For us, AppSumo worked very well. We've done it twice. We think, and it's like, why are you doing it? We changed Product Hunt for AppSumo. That's it, guys. It's a way of launching new products, and it works so well for us. And I would recommend it to anyone. Yeah, they take a piece of the cake, but they give us so much in a way, because it's the giving. And you can choose. There are many other platforms. I recommend AppSumo because they were amazing for us. But choose what platform. Whoever has the big audience in the market, go and dive in for it. And do not be multi-promotional in different platforms at once. And that's my. How about Alex? What do you think about the automations? Can you be in different areas at the same time? You recommend making one funnel only? What is your point on that?
With regards to Product Hunt strategy?
Sorry, different automations at the same time. Let's say if I'm on Product Hunt and then I do AppSumo and then Facebook, Google. What would you recommend, and what is probably the most successful automation that you have made?
I like to really focus on interactions after the impression on the site. I'll give you a good example, and this is pretty high level, but I use userengage.com for my chat and my in-funnel communication. So I have an.
What is User Engage? Is it like Crisp or stuff like this?
User Engage is a competitor of both Autopilot and Intercom. Imagine Autopilot and Intercom had a base.
Userengage.com, yep.
Yes, sir. So on User Engage, I have an automation that runs for LinkedIn visitors, specifically after hours, right? Because a lot of my LinkedIn connections are in the EU, and I'm not awake. So if they come to my site and they're after hours, they are greeted with a welcome from LinkedIn. Thank you for clicking through. Happy you're here. That's not the automation part, but essentially what happens is they get split into a couple categories based on where they come from, and that's bringing in the actual source URL. So User Engage allows me to create a filter based on source. Then I have another filter based on time of day. Then I put them through a bot conversation, which basically tells them I'm not online, but what I can do is give you a follow-up email that's specific to what you need. And then they leave their email, hopefully. If they don't, I have a 30-second delay and ask them one more time, and I remind them I'm not going to spam you. I'm going to send you valuable content only, at most twice a month, right? Hopefully they leave their email, and then they get entered into an email sequence, and they get tagged in my CRM with a LinkedIn source tag, and then I kind of put them through this customer journey, this lead journey. And if they do end up crossing my form on my site, User Engage allows me to add a little snippet, a little bit of JavaScript in the form, which is out of box. It requires you to just make sure, get with Mikal at User Engage and he'll set it up for you. But it will take the data that they enter in the form, and it will enrich the prospect contact profile in User Engage, and then it will also push all of that into my CRM, and then they become a known user in User Engage. User Engage knows the source, and then I can run them through a really specific targeting sequence, and it's all nice and buttoned up. So I really like, shout out to User Engage. They just raised $3 million, I think, so they're not the $200 million Intercom, but what they've built on their budget is incredible. So you can really get into the weeds with regards to what you can set up with User Engage, because unlike an autopilot, you can start and end interactions with messages. So I can choose to test push messages on the site when a new known user lands on my site versus an email campaign. I can do those kinds of things, and then I can also start the engagement with the push, with the messaging on the site, which Intercom allows you to do, and Intercom does have the email options, but Intercom prices a lot of people out, and User Engage all the way full funnel. They even have a CRM, a lightweight CRM that you can use. So I'm very excited about what these guys have to offer. I've got a few builds on User Engage, loving it, and then yeah, Hopper is the CRM, and G Suite. Everything G Suite. We should definitely do another episode about some stuff around G Suite, because there's a lot of big changes around Gmail.
This is not very sexy, G Suite, but I guess if you put some asteroids on it, it becomes sexy, isn't it?
It's not sexy, but it's, you know, it's
useful.
They're just cornering, you know, they're Gmail, and they're starting to corner. They're starting to get involved in marketing automation. They put their money and their backing, if you will, behind Copper.com as their CRM. Their internal team uses Copper.com, and you know, as much as I hate to, you know, feel like you have to use a certain CRM, a good example is Salesforce IQ is no longer supported inside G Suite. There's been issues reported with some of the other CRMs inside Gmail, and this is when you operate a CRM inside Gmail.
Or what's one? The other one, Mixmax, I think it is.
I had a friend just get banned from Gmail because he was sending 200 emails a day in Mixmax, like nothing. He got banned from Gmail. He can no longer send in Gmail, and he didn't even have a lot of spam complaints. I don't know if he had any the day he got banned. So the point is, Gmail and their new G data privacy, it's not sexy, but they are starting to corner themselves out. They're starting to get involved in marketing automation with their new products. They're getting involved in A/B testing and their new analytics tools, and they're starting to corner everybody off. So if you're a G Suite user and you do like it, it's obviously cost effective and cost efficient, then it makes a lot of sense to use the products that they give the thumbs up to. Because if you use the products that they say, you know what, we don't like that product, we don't have a good relationship with that product, at any day, any time, you can get.
And if you have like a full funnel with a Strike or Mixmax or anything, I love Olaf from Mixmax. He's an amazing guy. I think they raised 10 or 20 million, which is great. But it's always been I'm afraid of having like all my funnel, everything on there. It just doesn't work for me. I have one tool that I fully recommend to anyone in the world. It's Boomerang, man. I think it's like probably the crappiest. I don't want to say crappiest. Boomerang.
Boomerang?
Do you know Boomerang?
I've heard. I haven't used it yet.
Well, it's probably like 350 years old. It's this Boomerang. You type Boomerang for G Suite. Let me put that up, and it sends Boomerang for G Suite. If you type it, it will come up. It's just for G Suite. This just comes up super easy. I didn't used to use CRM. It's just Boomerang for G Suite. It will just send you the same email if they haven't given reply.
Yes, use Boomerang.
Yeah,
it's been a little while. I liked it. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. I like it.
And for marketers, I am a sales guy. I'm not like a super mega marketing. I am not an automation guy. Even that it's just happening, but things takes years for us, and it's important that. One of the things is do not get caught on automation is too difficult. And Alex and myself, I think we're different profiles, but we both do automation. In my case, automation sometimes is I get the process, I know how I want it, and I give it to Alex or to any other one else and say, can you do that to me? Because sometimes we don't know the inside of the tools, and we need a pro guy like you, Alex, or like anyone in the company to do the automations by itself, because I'm not good at doing it myself, but I am good at knowing what I want. But do you know any? If you want to share with me, Alex, automation is you don't have to do the whole funnel. You can let someone else do it for you. But if you know what you want, then boom.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just end with this. I mean, I think it's really important to play by the rules of your necessary stack. So if you lean on G Suite a lot for email sending, you know, your sales reps like to be inside their Gmail inbox, not going into another dashboard. If you like that, you use Google Docs, then start there and say, you know what, it's not worth it to risk, you know, being slapped by going with a third party that's not under their umbrella. And I hate to say this because it's, you know, it flies in the face of a lot of the startup founders out there, but I've seen it too many times where founders lose so much business because they risk that aspect of it. And so I would just say that. I mean, as far as the stack goes, go with something that's built off G Suite that you can lean on and your team loves. I'll put a couple recommendations in there. I think I've mentioned them. But yeah, make sure you build something solid and focus not so much on automating the outreach side of things, but what happens when people get to your site. So start there. What happens when people get to your site? How do you make sure that experience from getting to your site to converting to customer success is in place? Shout out to Batiste at Feedier. Get the feedback loops in place and make sure that, yeah, you've got the foundation before you start looking at, how to drive a bunch of cold leads and insert, you know, name and company name in the dynamic text. That's not where your head should be. Your head should be bottom of the funnel. Make sure that works. Mid funnel, make sure they're getting greeted appropriately. Then move to top of the funnel and worry about that.
Love it. Alex, I have 2 questions before we finish.
Okay, let's do it.
Number 1 is, tell me a life hack.
A life hack. Man,
That's an easy one.
I don't know if I have anything that's really interesting.
Yeah, come on. It is. I'm sure it is. Just share it with everyone.
Yeah, I have to think on that. I'll put something in the comments if I come up with something. That's
okay,
it.
like, for example, waking up early or going to sleep early or stuff like that. Very simple things.
I'm telling you, man.
Shower.
I think I have my content processes down. I have my marketing processes pretty dialed in for making the most out of my time. But when
do you write? Do you write in the afternoon, in the morning?
Oh, gotcha. What I will do is make sure that I try not to write at night. I try to write right after I go through my initial calls in midday, and I have a little bit of time where my brain's a little woken up. And I write when it's top of mind. I will say that. I mean, if I have a life hack that is relating to marketing, I would say as soon as it's done, as far as the research, as far as the episode, as far as the content goes, try to write then. Don't
postpone it
together and
procrastinate.
It's all at once. Right when it's top of mind, even if it's just getting that outline. So what I do is I'll outline everything out. I'll make sure, like, while we talked, I'll try to get an outline together. Then I'll send that over to my writer, who will put it into some relevant article format. Then I'll go ahead and loop it into Quora and recreate it there. But I try to write right when I'm in the moment. So
I love that. You know, one of the things like I do, I record it and send it to my writer, man, because sometimes it's.
That's a lot. Yeah, record.
Yeah, I record it, I vomit it, and that's it. It's done, man. It's probably the best way. It worked for me so well. Second hack, what if you can recommend me and to everyone listening a book?
A book?
Yeah, simple as that.
The Heart Math Solution is one I'm reading a lot on, but that's more it's more just kind of making sure that you've got that holistic kind of understanding of what's going on in your brain, in your body, with relation to not just chemical flowing from your brain down, but from your heart up, and making sure everything's in sync. So you're not just thinking clearly, you're not just making sure that you're healthy, but making sure that you're really understanding what's going on, because a lot of business is making sure that you are in tune with your body and in tune with your spirit and in tune with what's happening internally, and then you can be your best person, I believe.
And so, this is the hard math solution?
The heart math solution. I had it around here somewhere. I can show you.
No, don't worry, man.
I can link to it too. All right, buddy. Well, we got to jump off.
Thank you very much, Alex. I enjoyed. Everyone, please get in contact with Alex at automation.if.
No, let's do a team, TEAM at automated.af.
Team. Okay, we will write it down. Thank you, everyone, for staying here. And please, Alex, wait 1 second while I'm finishing the broadcast. Thank you very much.
All right, buddy.